What is the single most important reason for a person to know about God or to know about oneself instead of leading a good life in this world, enjoying the worldly pleasures? The answer to this question lies in the question itself: undecaying happiness. Now, all the happiness which one can experience in this world, which is called the Stula Ananda or the pleasures, are very short lived. A good life, good education, good job, good income, good family, nice children, lot of wealth, enjoying worldly pleasures, all these things are not going to last forever. They are likely short lived, likely to be short lived and mixed with issues in life. Even if we can enjoy the worldly pleasures, there is always this chance of getting lost due to whatever reasons. So there is no surety or guarantee that one can enjoy the worldly pleasures for whatever time one wants to. At the same time, let us see how, if one can derive more pleasures or more happiness from the worldly objects, if one can acquire more possessions. So, how much ever worldly objects which one wants to enjoy in this world, even if one can have all those pleasures, still, is it really true that the happiness we enjoy is in terms of the worldly objects? Does happiness has a direct relation to the worldly objects which one can enjoy? No. How much ever a person may be rich, he may be having all the worldly objects he can enjoy, but when one goes to deep sleep, we are not even aware of our own physical body. Yet everyone wishes to enjoy a good deep sleep, and whether a person is rich or poor, all experience the same happiness in deep sleep. So this shows that the happiness we enjoy is not directly related to the possession of worldly objects. When one can experience happiness which is not related to the worldly objects or to the physical body, then only then that happiness can be termed as a lasting happiness. The happiness that we seek should be found within ourselves, which means that it will not go away forever. Since every person, every one of us likes oneself most, and happiness alone is the cause for that, it is very reasonable and logical to understand the fact that true happiness lies within oneself. Because no amount of worldly objects can give us a lasting happiness or joy. It can at maximum give us a short-lived pleasures. Now let us see how the happiness or the pleasures that we derive from the worldly objects are not really from those worldly objects. So whenever we want to enjoy certain worldly object, we want to enjoy pleasures, we go and seek those objects and experience the pleasures. Now if we can go in depth in this process, we can easily understand the fact that when a person wants to experience a worldly object for pleasure, he makes lot of efforts, or he may even be able to achieve that pleasure easily, and then he gets some happiness. Now, this happiness a person gets by enjoying a worldly pleasure is not from the object itself. It's not from the object or a person or a place or a thing. It is basically due to the fact that the desire which arose in one's mind gets fulfilled, and due to that fulfillment, the desire subsides and the mind experience a short interval wherein it remains without any thoughts. There is some kind of fulfillment, and then mind sinks within into the pure awareness or the Atma for a very short time, and in this short time one experiences the pleasure or joy. So the happiness we derive out of the worldly pleasures due to worldly objects is not really from those objects, but it is due to the fact that the fulfillment causes the mind to subside within for a short interval, and during that interval we experience the joy of our own self-awareness or the Atma within. So the happiness or the pleasure that we get out of the worldly objects is basically the happiness of our own true nature, which is the pure awareness or the Atma, self-awareness, the happiness of the existence consciousness bliss, Sachitanandam. So from this fact one can understand that no amount of worldly objects is worth the effort, and whatever the pleasures that we can enjoy which can give us joy, ultimate joy really happens due to our own Ananda, which is the very nature of Atma or the self-awareness or the pure consciousness which we are. So once a person gets this understanding, then he will not be seeking the worldly objects for pleasures, because whatever the objects we may experience, the happiness basically comes from within. It comes from one's true nature and the existence consciousness bliss. It is the bliss of the Atma that we experience, even though it is only a very small fraction of our own true happiness. Still, that happiness what we experience is only from that one's own self-awareness or the Atma. So this is the reason why one should seek oneself rather than seeking happiness from the worldly objects or from others. It is not that one should not enjoy the worldly pleasures, but one should not enjoy the worldly pleasures with the idea that it is from those objects that we are getting happiness. If without seeking anything, if such worldly pleasures comes to oneself on its own accord without asking for that, then one can naturally experience them without having the idea that we should seek more of such happiness again in life, or trying to implant further vasanas in the mind by reflecting on those experiences, so that one will not form new vasanas or the mental inclinations, and whatever one experiences will not cause that imprint. This is the main reason. So, being in the presence of Bhagavan always is the true happiness, and we are always and already we are in the presence of Bhagavan. It is only that we should not leave that presence. The practice that we do is to not leave the presence of Bhagavan. It is not to do some effort, and then we will be in the presence of Bhagavan. We are always and already in the presence of Bhagavan by default. We just need to keep quiet. To experience the presence of Bhagavan is there with us always and already. We just need to keep quiet. We just need to keep our mind still. Let the mind not wander. Let us be free from any anxieties or worries, and there will be peace. So if one can be still like that, without any worries, relaxed and being in peace, without any mental moment thoughts, then one will naturally experience the awareness of one's own existence, which is basically the presence of Bhagavan within all of us. This experience of the presence of Bhagavan is always there forever, and it is already attained. We are always in the presence of Bhagavan. Imagine if we are in the presence of Bhagavan in the ashram while Bhagavan was there in the physical body, and we are sitting in the presence of Bhagavan, and then we go and ask a question to Bhagavan: Bhagavan, how can I come to your place and be in your presence? I want to see you. Then what reply he would give us? Bhagavan would tell, you are already in my presence. Being here in my presence, you are asking me the way to go and be in my presence. How foolish it is. It is the same way even now. We are already and always in the presence of Bhagavan, here and now. There is no reason for any effort we need to put in to be in the presence of Bhagavan. The effort we are putting is not to leave the presence of Bhagavan, which is there always within us as our own existence consciousness, the awareness of our own existence, the pure awareness, Satchitananda. So for that we just have to be quiet mentally, without any wandering, without any unwanted thoughts. Then we just relax, we just be still, no anxieties, no worries, only peace. Then naturally our attention will be attracted towards the presence of Bhagavan, which is the awareness of our own existence, Satchit. So the presence is always there within us. It is only important to note that we should not leave that presence for whatever reason, and just by being in that presence always, all the time, here and now, we shall be enjoying the undecaying and eternal happiness forever, all the time. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva.